Hey, how you doing? I'm Aaron Mento. I'm a writer and a filmmaker, and like anybody else, I struggle with disappointment. I'll, feel bad about something not going the way that I really wanted it to go, and it can really kind of give me the blues, kind of put me in the dumps for a while. And what I like to do is I like to find a movie from my collection and put it on the TV in the hopes that it will alleviate that disappointment, help me to kind of leave that behind, and approach the next task refreshed without having that disappointment kind of haunt me onto the next task or project that I do. And one movie that always helps me deal with disappointment. So if I'm disappointed, feeling bad, I always put on The Long Kiss Goodnight. Yeah, this movie, I don't even know what to say about The Long Kiss Goodnight. It's one of my favorite action movies, one of my favorite movies, period. Um, it's just one of those movies where everything just kind of clicks in place on different levels. So you have it on a surface action level, it's technically incredible. On a comedy level, Shane Black wrote the screenplay, so it's super funny. I think it's one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. But then, most importantly for me, is on the emotional level. This movie always just hits me when I see it, and it helps me to kind of shake disappointment off of me, and feel like I can take on the next task or project without any of that holding me down. And I think the real reason that this movie helps me deal so well is because of Geena Davis's performance in it. I think it's one of the great unsung performances in cinema history. I think what she does with this movie is incredible. She carries it as an action movie. She carries it as a comedy, and she just delivers the emotional gut punch that her two characters really have to deal with. So if you haven't seen the movie before, it's about this woman with amnesia named Samantha Kane, played by Geena Davis, and she seems very just happy being a mom. And she's like in this small little town, and she's like super friendly, and everybody likes her and stuff. But then you find out that she's actually a super murderous assassin named Charlie Baltimore, and she goes on this journey of self-discovery with this private investigator played by Samuel L. Jackson, who's never been better. He's incredible in this movie, and yeah, the way that Geena Davis goes from being this kind of innocent and optimistic uh, family woman, transitioning back into realizing that she's actually an ice cold assassin for the government, and then merging those two personas together towards the end of the movie, where she's both, is for some reason a very healing experience every time I watch it. It's a character that's dealing with regret from both sides of her persona, and by bringing them together, she's able to finally be whole from both sides. So that kind of character arc is really not easy to pull off, and yeah, it's kind of startling every time I watch it. It hits me, and it's super emotional watching her go through this, and her rapport with Samuel L. Jackson, I think, is unmatched in buddy comedies, buddy action comedies, of which Shane Black is, one of the best there is, obviously. Um, but Samuel L. Jackson also delivers, I think, his best performance in this movie. He kind of sneaks up on you. He's so funny in it, but there's this emotional core of, this character has let people down before. He's let his family down. He has, sorry, my battery. He has let, himself down, and the fact that he goes on this kind of mission with Samantha slash Charlie to figure out how she can kind of deal with these two personas and come out the other end, and also stop this huge terrorist plot, which they also are both trying to take care of. His arc of self-sacrifice to do one good thing that will help wipe away years of regret is also very healing to watch for me in terms of disappointment and regret and stuff like that. And so when I watch this movie and these two characters are going on this journey together, and the emotional core kicks in, where they both kind of find a way to move on and to make amends with their past, it always just makes me feel ready for the next task at hand. It makes me shake off disappointment, and it makes me really kind of feel refreshed into the next task or movie or project that I'm going to be going into. And it's a very healing movie for me. It's an action comedy, but man, the emotional core is so intense, and those two together are just amazing. And if I can just for a moment gush about Renny Harlin. Renny Harlin is a director who he doesn't really get his due. I think he's unfairly kind of thrown in to the idea that he's just like a journeyman director. But man, he's delivered some killer movies, and Long Kiss Goodnight is a freaking killer movie. And if he only made one movie, I mean, he'd be one of my favorite directors. And if it was this movie, because it is that good, and it has so many qualities to it that a lot of action movies don't have, and they don't necessarily need to have. But this one, man, it sneaks up on you. So if you're ever dealing with disappointment, and first off, watch this if you've never seen it before, and I think it will be healing for you in that way. But even if you've seen it before, revisit it after you've had a big disappointment or a big setback. And I feel like when the credits roll, you're going to feel better about that disappointment. You're going to feel like you went through something with these characters, and you came out the other side too, changed, fulfilled, ready to take on the future. So why don't you go ahead and tell me what your favorite Renny Harlin movie is in the comments. I would love to see what that is, because he's got a lot of good ones. And other than that, I really hope this helps you out, and thank you again for watching. Hey, one more thing. If you like this video, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be sharing all sorts of different movies that help me for very specific things, and I'm looking forward to sharing those with you. Thanks.